Hello and welcome back to another coastal ride. This time I'm on the rugged Atlantic coast side of the island, on the west side of the island. Behind me here is the Blackhouse Village of Gearannan, and I'll give you some facts about that as we get up there. I think we'll overlook it and we'll come back here, but I just want to get the ride underway. Today I have my guide, and is Gavin Earons. Gavin Earons is a very experienced mountain bike leader and coach with the Hebridean Cycle Club, and he's probably the last word when it comes to mountain biking round the coast. I think he's been every single nook and cranny and inlet round the island of Lewis and even Harris, so I couldn't be in better hands today. So ideally I'll just be following Gavin, following his line. We'll be stopping, and I'll be, giving you as much information as I can. Maybe a bit, it's almost like a wee bit of a tourist guide to it, so with some history lessons about the places we're going to see, and also just see what kind of sea life and wildlife we can find. But what a start at the Gearannan Blackhouse Village. I just want to get underway, and we'll get warmed up, and we're going to head up to the rugged coastline and just see what we can find, so stay tuned if you want to see more. Okay, start of the ride, looking down towards the Gearannan Blackhouses. These are now from accommodation, but people were living in there till about 40 years ago, I think it was. And you can see there's a stack of peats down there. They're stone built and they have thatched roofs, and which obviously get renewed. I think there's somebody doing some work down there. You can see some of that there, but they're a certain structure to make sure that they could withstand the weather that you get up here with the heavy winds and right in the Atlantic coast. So I had a relative of my Shanner, my grandfather. He had a couple of cousins that stayed in one of them down there, and then down to the bay there, and we're looking out towards the Atlantic. So this is the start, the Gearannan Blackhouses, and I've stayed in that one there and that one there for Hogmanay a couple of times, which was very good indeed. So it's obviously, when you look at it now, but nowadays it's got all the mod cons inside. You wouldn't believe it, but heated, underfloor heating and all that good stuff for the people who've been softened up with modern society. So now we're going to head up over here. You can see the wind farms are blowing away. It's always going to be windy here, and we'll pick up as we carry along the coast, and Gavin will keep me right. So Gavin out front, and we're straight into it. Yeah, it's already a bit technical. Yeah. No warm up here, straight into. So I was just saying to Gavin there, this is no Strava lines here, or even a Strava trail to think of. It's so forget your distances and your speed. Adventure biking is the best. Nice one. Gavin finding the grip in the stone. Ooh, boy, it's windy up here. It's close to you. So that's all the legs off Mangersta aired. And that would be into Cliff, and then out to Gallon Head. So you're looking over to the Harris Hills. That's Sunnyville in Uig. Okay, yeah. And then the Harris Hills are down here. Ideal, well hopefully you can pick it up, but we're looking out over the Atlantic now, and if you were to go directly across from here, you'd hit sort of Newfoundland and the east coast of Canada and eastern seaboard of America. Also out from here, about 20 miles out from here, there's the Seven Hunters. It's called the Flannan Isles, and that was one of the last automated lighthouses, and there's a story behind that. I'll put the link in the description. It's called the Flannan Isles Mystery if you're interested in stuff like that. 3 lighthouse keepers went there and all disappeared under very unusual circumstances in 1900, around about Christmas time then, and it's still not been solved, but there's plenty of conspiracy theories and other theories beside that. One of the lighthouse keepers was standby, he wasn't supposed to be there, and he's a relative of mine. His name is Donald MacArthur, he's a distant relative, and he disappeared along there. So it's out there in the middle of the Atlantic, way far out. These are just outcrops here, about 20 miles out there, on the way probably as the crow flies, you probably hit the bottom of Greenland if you went from Breasplit, where they came from, where they left from, to there. So we've got a history lesson just to kick off with. Now we're in this lunar landscape here. What a panorama, looking round, panning round whole Lewis and Harris and Oig, North Atlantic. So let's get back into riding. Leading the way, you just have to pick your own line. Just make sure you don't get wet. But it's just rock slabs, they look pretty grippy. And so far so good. Just need to keep looking far enough ahead. Go on. Oh, well done. Doing it like that. So already some of this technical riding I've done, because it's not marked out. You have to really check out whether it's rideable from your own experience and whatnot. So if you can see videos of people doing, you know it can be done. Wow. As much as I'd love to take in the views, I'll just concentrate on my riding. I can watch it back in the video, or when I'm stopping I can get more footage. Yeah, thanks. Oh, good. Squelch. Keep the fence post there. I'll give them a wee bit of space braking. Excellent. What's that? I'm sorry for being a bit tame for you. No, listen, this is not, like I said, you're the expert at this kind of riding. I think you could get yourself tied in knots by thinking that you've done a couple of blacks on an official route. That is a thing here, but it's not like it's graded. No, it's ungraded, so yeah. So you do not know what. Yeah, exactly. You don't know if it's loose or what's happening. Yeah. Well, maybe not. Oh, there's potential for a wee jump there. That's for another day. There we go.
here.
No, you won't. It's natural. If you hit that across the way, you would. Thinking, yeah, you would. If I came at it straight across. Yeah, it's stunning as well. Oh my goodness, look at that wee. Oh, I'm not going near it, but geez, oh, look at that. But I know I'm not going near it, but look. No, I'm not going to. Are you going up? Yeah. Okay, here's a side view of what to expect when you're doing some of these coastal rides. This is Gavin making his way in towards the headland. Gavin's an experienced mountain bike leader, and he also knows a particular stretch of coastline really well. If you are going to do this for the first time, plan ahead, and also be aware that there are strong offshore coastal winds that can easily put you off balance. So just be aware and factor that in when you're doing your riding. There he goes. Gavin doing his mountain bike goat impression on a bike.
I'm chicken the slab, to be honest.
Let's have a look at him. Heading out onto the headland again. Time to get a breather.
How's your head for heights?
How's
your head for heights?
Head for heights. Pull back. Wow. That's easily as high, if not higher, than Tulsa, I would say. Well, 300 foot in Tulsa. These definitely. I mean, those are high there. We're looking down on those ones.
Yeah.
So let's have a wee. I think I'll go up there and get a. Oh, I'll get a point of reference. What was that bird there?
Raven.
Yeah. Off the bike. Okay, I'll stay up safe here, and there's Gavin there. Man, these cliffs are bigger, definitely. So I'll concentrate on when I'm riding. You can concentrate on the. You can have a look over there if you want on the video. This is where, for billions of years, the Atlantic's been having a fighting with the rugged coastline, chopping and breaking it up. And this isn't even a storm. That's good. Oh! Cams it around here. Look at those slabs, how smooth they are. So this is, I have to stop here to enjoy the view. Got any photos. Look how smooth they are as well. So we're heading round to Dalmore, Dalbeck, Shawbust. Hopefully we'll see how much time we've got.
Yeah.
And a wee kind of history lessons. The Vikings, when they came over in I think it was the 8th to the 11th century, and that's when they conquered this, became part of Norway, and the place names are still surviving this day. So you go to any Scandinavian countries, all these Bosts and Niche, and they're all part of these names, the derivative names. So for example, Shawbust, Shaw is the sea, Bost is the steading, so it's the steading by the sea. Carloway is the hill in the bay, and Arnold is like Arn, and all is like the beacon of the hill, and the Garabost, all the Bosts. And I think that they still survived to this day, and they're more descriptive. I think the Vikings were very much like, that's a bay, there's a steading, and all the different, so they just, it was all a descriptive way. And then obviously the Celts were here from 500 AD to 900 AD. They came over from Ireland, the Gaelic speaking Celts, and so you get the mishmash of that. And then the Picts were there to what, 200 BC up until that point. In fact, it's the Broch. We were away from the Broch, but the Broch was a defensive settlement used by the Picts to defend it. And then obviously going back millennia, you're going back to 5,000 years where you got the Calney stones and stuff like that. But there's so much history here, and I'm just like I said, it's more like a mountain biking and a history lesson and a jolly and adventure. So thanks, Gavin, for so far.
If you get as far as Shoggers, there's the renovated Norse Mill.
Oh, of course, the Norse Mill. Yeah, there's another. That's the two big grinding stones of the water power. Yeah, oh, absolutely. And so we'll see what we can get, but it's way more rugged than the eastern side. But there is some beautiful beaches coming up, which is more dramatic because they're right in amongst this stuff that's been hewn over the millennia, I say, by the ocean. So we'll keep going, and oh, which way did he go? Which way did he go? I wasn't going through here. Power on. Done! Yes! Oh, my goodness, oh, Garenin. How did I end up back here? Look at this! Look at that, for just, my goodness. So Louisian gneiss, I think I mentioned the last one, some of the oldest rock in the world. But it's just so free. That's what I really enjoy with this. It's just adventure biking, if you want to call it a name, but I think I'll just call it cycling. Is that? How about that? Just two wheels, that's all you need. Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, there's that stack over there. Oh, who's put that cairn there? Right. Gavin's just pointed out, as you can see over there, somebody's put a cairn in the middle of that thing there. The wind is blowing in that direction. That is absolutely stunning. Okay, I've just hung back for this one to give you another point of view. This is to give you a sense of scale, what it's like. If you see Gavin here, tracing around the coastline, and some of these cliffs are several hundred feet high, but when you're in amongst them, and especially when you go to some of these headlands, these viewpoints, is what you find is when you get to the end is that actually on overhangs, which adds to the drama, but just to give you a sense of scale and what it's like when you're riding around these coasts. Meet up with Gavin again, see what he's looking at. That'll do. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's just mesmerising. I'll stay back, but Gavin's just pointing out, I'll stay right behind him. So he's pointing out that you can actually get access up there. That's that sheer face there, but it's just so exposed, so remote. The wind, and there's a heck of wind here all the time. So I'll keep well back, but hats off to you if you've done that. I don't think
the worst of it was the rock just comes away.
Yeah, you can see it just looks like it's ready to crumble.
Below,
yeah.
It's actually worse.
You've got no, I can't see any discernible grip. It's like just like a steep sheet. Yeah, you need rubber climbing boots and a parachute.
Substantial building.
Yeah. Jeez, oh, that's just, you know what? I wasn't even looking at that. Yeah. There's a building on that. Who built that? Right, I know a lot about the history and stuff around here, but this is not an Iron Age one, is it? That's Vikings or Picts. Who? They're both as nuts as one another.
There's some of these.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, they've got these things built up in caves in Greece and Ethiopia and places like that, where they've got them. It's like a rite of passage that they take your family up, and if the gods are favourable for you, you survive type thing. And the wee thing. So this must have been some kind of religious type place to build. It's not been for convenience. It must have been some kind of rite of passage or some place to go high up and looking towards the Atlantic. So we'll have to look up that, find out who's responsible for that one. Who's your money on? Vikings, Picts, Druids, Hebrideans? Well, they're the modern day mixture. And we'll have a wee look down at theirs. Yeah. So we'll be heading up here, and oh, we're looking at plenty of, you can see the uninterrupted view to the hills of Harris, looking back on it that way. So speaking of the thing, we did a DNA genealogy sort of track back, and it turns out I got from my mum and dad, and it looks like they're the mixture. It was Viking, like Scandinavian, Celtic and Russian. Wow. So Baltic states. So it's kind of a bizarre, you know. Yeah. So there must have been from the Baltic states coming over into Scandinavia, the Celtic. So the mixture, I think, was something like 10. Well, it was like 20% Russian. It was 60% Viking and 20% Celt, or thereabouts. And yeah, so the modern Hebrideans are a mixture of those people. Gavin doing his climbing skills up there. Scale. Cannot get it. Ridiculous. Okay. Spinning. Oh, my climbing is definitely improved today, because you got no choice. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look. This is it in a cam day. On a rough day. Good luck. I'm gonna move further back. Yeah. It's starting to work our way back. Oh, Dalmore! You can see it there in the distance. An absolute cracking beach with amazing surf. People travel from all over this one. It's pretty gnarly. There are some rip tides in it. So experienced people only. Oh. Okay, we're making our way back up again to descend into the beautiful beach of Dalmore. If you look at these kind of cross sort of scars in the landscape there, that is what you cut into the bank to cut for peat for fuel, and they do that in the summer months. Cut it, leave it out here to dry, then put it into big peat stacks, and that's their fuel for winter. And also, if you like your peat and malt whiskies, they use this peat to dry the maltings to give it that peaty flavour, typical of the Islay malts. Although a few more distilleries that were non-peated are starting to peat some of their maltings as whiskey gets more popular. Oh, Gavin down here, it's a wee bit wet, some bits, but oh, give it a trail, okay. Yeah, sliding. I know, back end was skipping a wee bit. The more exposed areas have dried out, and hear a squelching.